Are you someone who struggles to get through everything you plan to do for the day? Or perhaps you set out to do something for the week and by the end of the week you realise and look back and think, actually, I haven't achieved half of the things that I wanted to? Well, I'm here to tell you the secret behind how to be productive 24/7. So you may have seen that I've recently shared this video. And people tend to ask me, where do I actually get the time? So feel free to fast forward for the next 20 seconds if you don't want to hear me kind of blow my own trumpet. But in the past year, I have managed to become ACA qualified. I've released a book, a finance tracker, weekly blogs, and been able to help many students, all alongside working full-time as an external auditor, being recognised as a high performer at work, and also going to the gym 5 times a week without fail. So how have I managed to do all of this? What actually is the secret? And obviously I'm not productive 24/7, and that is a bit of a clickbait title, but I am here to share a lot of things that have worked for me, and some of them are honestly quite simple, but once you put them all together, that's when you'll start to see the results. So to understand the secret behind being productive 24/7, you of course need to know, what does it actually mean to be productive? Well, to be productive, as per vocabulary.com, you create or produce a large amounts of something. So to be honest, it's not rocket science. I think we all pretty much knew that, and I think we can actually still procrastinate and take time to ourselves, but still then manage to do a lot. So from a young age, I'd always do extracurricular activities, I would get a part-time job, I would always be out on the weekends, and I would just constantly be doing a lot of different things. And I think that has really built me into the person who I am today. So let's get straight to this secret. It is not actually just one thing. I think it is a combination of factors that all pull together, as I've mentioned. So the first way, I believe, to be productive 24/7 is to plan. So some of you might just roll your eyes and think, oh, plan, like, duh. Or think, oh no, I don't really need a plan, I just do it and get things done. So trust me on this one, I really think with planning, it allows you to then relax and also get things done. So I always write things down in my calendar. I know exactly when things are. I can plan around my socials, plan around my commitments, and also know exactly what's important and what I need to achieve. It also then means that you just don't miss anything. So examples of things that I would plan in advance, I would plan in advance which blogs I would be posting. So I would plan the titles, and then over time I would write them and know exactly which Thursday I would need to release that blog and make sure that that gets done. I also plan my meals, so that might seem a bit excessive, but I love to meal prep and just get my food all ready for the week, or at least the next few days, so I don't need to worry about it. I know what I'm going to eat when, and I can just literally heat it up and have it really quickly. I think it just cuts out a lot of the stress of wondering what to eat, what I'm going to cook, and it also can actually be quite a healthy option. So something that I would also plan, which I don't really do anymore because I am now ACA qualified, but I did used to really have a thorough revision schedule. So I would use a weekly planner and I would plan out all the questions, and I would just know exactly what I needed to do by when to then be ready for that final exam. So hopefully those examples are something that you can kind of resonate with and you can apply to your own life and your own commitments. I really just can't stress enough how important it is to plan and be on top of things, but make sure that you're not too optimistic. That's where you can really go wrong. If you just set too much pressure on yourself, once you start to fall behind, it can all just get really on top of you, and that can stress you out. You could then end up being actually counterproductive, which is not what we want here. But if you do plan for catch-up days, then you shouldn't go wrong. So the next way to be productive 24/7 is to be productive with your timing. So it sounds stupid and you're probably thinking, well, what does that even mean? We all only get 24 hours in a day, which Molly May has said, and I'm not going to say anything else, but sleep is something that I really will not compromise on. I need my sleep. However, with busy season recently, it has gone down to about 6 hours. Now that I'm out of that end, I am going to build that back up to about 7 to 8 hours a night, because honestly, I cannot function without sleep. I'm literally a mess. So if we do take out those 8 hours that I'll get for sleeping, 16 hours of that day then is left for me to do productive things. So Monday to Friday, I literally work 9 till 5:30, and that's not in busy season and that's not during those peak periods. But typically it is 9 to 5:30 or 9 till 6. So really it leaves me about 7 hours left of the day. And in that time, I need to go to the gym. That is a non-negotiable for me. I have to go 5 days a week. And so to be honest, it still does sound like there is actually a fair bit of time. So something that really works for me is honestly making the most out of my lunchtime. So I also need to get 8k steps a day at the moment. And I will make sure during my lunchtime, I will be up and walking while I'm doing things. So that can be checking things on my phone, putting blogs together, responding to people, even meal prepping if it gets to that where I need to get it done at a lunchtime and I'm working from home. But honestly, I really do try to make the most out of the time I have available. I really just don't want to be sitting there watching TV and getting nothing else done. There's obviously nothing wrong with that. I just feel like I can use that time more effectively if I'm doing something whilst, say, watching TV. Also, in the past year, due to COVID, I haven't been able to travel during my annual leave, but what that's meant is I can actually use that in a productive way, and this is the main times where I would kind of write my book and put that together. So I would do that on the weekends, also some evenings, but then about a week of annual leave that I had, I made sure that was a week that I was going to get my book published. So if you do want to know more about self-publishing a book, follow me on TikTok actually. I don't think it's going to be long enough to create a YouTube video, but you never know, so do make sure to subscribe as well. Arguably, this is what I think is the most important way to be productive, and I live by this, and that is to literally embed a solid routine. So I really do think without a routine, I would just be a mess. I think routine is really where everything ties together. All of that planning and being productive with timing comes together through a solid routine. And I really do think that having a routine drives discipline and allows you to just stay committed and on track. So as I've mentioned, I go to the gym 5 days a week. I've done that for honestly the past 5 or 6 years, and it's something that I really just cannot go without. You'll see on my YouTube channel that even during lockdown, when the gyms are closed, I'd still make sure to exercise, and I actually did make my own DIY home gym, so feel free to check that out. But to make sure to hit that 5 days a week, I really do need to plan ahead. If I know that I've got a social or something going on in the evening after work, I know then that I have to go to the gym in the morning before work, and so I'll prep in the week to make sure that I'll sleep a bit earlier and do the things that I need to do the night before in order to allow me to get to the gym in the morning rather than after work. It's also just a lot easier if you do plan your workouts and know what you're going to do, just to take some of the stress out of it. So I think if I wasn't so disciplined and routine, then it would be really hard to stick to this. But because it is embedded, I just know that I can't go without it, and I know how bad I'd feel without it. Honestly, it sounds like I have a bit of an obsession, but I mean, it works, and it is a healthy obsession. But I would really rather go to the gym and have a bad workout than not go at all. So according to Healthline, it takes 66 days to build a habit and for a new behavior to become automatic. So honestly, just try it. Just start small and build it up. And if you really do want to start something, just honestly start today. I guess I built publishing blogs on Thursdays to be one of my kind of weekly habits. And so because I knew that it's something that I needed to do and I became accountable for it, what that actually meant is that even during my laser eye surgery and really difficult periods, I still made sure that I had these blogs ready to post beforehand. And this is actually where the next big tip comes in, which is just setting goals. So the best example I can give to you for this is my book. So I knew I wanted to publish my book in summer, and that's to allow ACA students starting in the following September to be able to get this book beforehand and really build their accounting knowledge before starting. So in order to achieve that, I had to make sure I was planning ahead and being productive with my timings to get this done on time for that summer. So like I said, I did use some evenings, weekends, but then also some annual leave to really just get that done. It is something that I probably could have delayed, but because I set that goal and that target and made it something in my head that I just couldn't miss, I made sure to get it done. So the final way to be productive 24/7 is to actually avoid burnout. So it sounds like I'm saying the opposite thing, but it is actually really important to avoid burnout. So being completely honest, I don't think it would be possible to be productive 24/7, but I don't really think anyone would actually want to be. You need to listen to your body and just know when to say no to certain things. I mean, I say that I'm not always the best at it, but it is just something that would help you kind of take it more easy when you need to. So if I do kind of just want to take it a bit more easy, I will maybe sit on the sofa doing bits on my website or maybe writing a blog or responding to people. And for me, that does just make me feel like I'm not actually working. And I think what really does help is just being mentally prepared. So that really links into planning. But if you know that you're going to have to do something and you're mentally prepared for it, you just feel a lot better about doing it. So last minute plans are a bit harder, but it's still good to sometimes be spontaneous and just have a bit of fun. So I really do just think the key to avoid burning out is to prioritise. So just really make sure you know what your non-negotiables are, what you really need to get done, and just prioritize. There's honestly so much more that I want to do, but I just haven't had a chance to do yet. But something that I'm now prioritizing is YouTube, so make sure you do subscribe because I will be releasing more videos. But what that actually means is now that I'm prioritizing YouTube, I am writing fewer blogs, and that's not a bad thing, it's just where I'm more focused towards now. So to summarize, the secret is actually a combination of things. It's not just one thing, and it won't just happen overnight. You do just need to start planning, make effective use of your timing, embed that routine, really set those goals, and try to avoid burning out along the way. So I'm not perfect, I'm not saying that I've nailed this, but I do honestly try to do as much as I can. So there have been times that I have felt overwhelmed. That's just when you take a step back and just rethink your priorities. So hopefully this video helps. I'm not saying it's the right way, but it is what works for me, and hopefully you can take something away from this today. If you did find it helpful, feel free to give me a like, drop any comments if you have any more suggestions for being productive, and hopefully you'll see me again soon. Thanks.